Internet! Hello, you lovelies! Let's talk about Creature Commandos episode 3, and what an episode it was. This was our GI robot-centric episode. Now, if you are new to this page, I do comic book news and reviews, as well as movie news and reviews, but I really love centering things around the comics themselves. So if you love comics, if you love movies, you love TV, hit that subscription bell. Also, leave a like in this video so I know you're liking the show or liking my commentary on the show, and most of all, leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of this episode. I hate long introductions, so let's talk about Creature Commandos episode 3. This was GI Robot's big centerpiece, and it was very James Gunn. The show has been very James Gunn with his music choices, with its energy, with its chaos, and I say it's very James Gunn in this case because, spoiler alert for the episode I hope you've already seen because we're diving all the way in, they kill the lead character on the show. And I love that in the same vein of comic books where a lead can totally die, this does the thing where it builds up how much you love the character and then takes him out to prove the stakes, to show the validity of the danger of this world. And it feels like they did that with really good pacing because episode 2 gave us a singular focus with the team dynamic still moving on, but made it about the bride. Like, the bride was the lead of the episode. We still got the A plot moving forward, but we focused on the bride. So I thought it was genius to do the third episode on another spotlight, making me think, obviously, it's going to be the first episode's the pilot, it assembles the team, and then each episode leading to the finale is a spotlight on each character, but then in killing one in their main focused episode, not only do you care more, is the emotional impact higher, not only does it make the stakes high for every other remaining character proving someone can die, but it also shows the variety of storytelling is going to trip you up and surprise you. It's not going to be necessarily a spotlight with each character and move forward in a predictable way. So this show more and more feels like a graphic novel of the Creature Commandos, with each issue being a different artist, metaphorically, obviously the same artist in the show, but it's a different chunk of a story, and I really like that it feels like a graphic novel with determined sections per episode. Also, really enjoying the violence in this case. I don't necessarily always love hyper-violence in my narratives, but in this case, I really like that it's a fun-spirited violence against Nazis, which is why Inglourious Basterds is so fun, which is why Indiana Jones, always hit Nazis. This used that to an 11 and made the joke that was the repetition of GI Robot in the first 2 episodes, they made it a visual joke as well as the verbal joke. And that was another good reason, I think, to kill the character off, because if that joke works because of repetition, that joke works because it's like we get it, and then there's like that line where it goes from we get it into it's funny again because of the repetition. And I think that worked for 3 episodes. I don't know that I would have been as endeared to it or as endeared to him by episode 5, 6, and 7. So, perfect character to kill off, perfect episode for it. Really enjoyed the transitions between the past and now. Really established this world. It's a really bold and weird way to start the DCU, but I think that's the intent. I think bold and weird will establish this shared universe as something entirely different than any shared universes we've had before, and that brings us to Sergeant Rock. Sergeant Rock is a very, very formative character in DC. Sergeant Rock is a classic Golden Age character. Sergeant Rock is one of those characters that if you're an old school comic fan, you're like, yeah, of course. Him being introduced in this show, and the rumor, and I don't know if there's any validity to it, but when the DCU was started, when James Gunn made the announcements, I don't remember which director it was, but a director saying they wanted to do Sergeant Rock. And I think that's a great way to get people that don't necessarily think they like comic movies to see a comic movie, to kind of get them in the door, and then it's a full World War I film, and they're none the wiser that it's based on a comic. And then down the line, if Sergeant Rock pops up in a flashback, you get that joy of, oh, that's a crossover, and I didn't even realize it, or oh, that's that character. And then people that might not think they don't like comics, that think they just don't like cape stuff, can discover the whole world of Sergeant Rock, which isn't cape stuff at all. It's very specifically World War I and grounded and gritty, and it was really cool to see that mix into the world of GI Robot, which then, in turn, expands the world into the absurdity of this monster team. This insane task force M that we've assembled is so absurdist that it's cool to prove you can do a simple World War I story, and through the connection of GI Robot, tie that into the greater tapestry, especially with those transitions, into the world as big and absurd and colorful and vibrant as one that has a Dr. Phosphorus in it, as one that has a woman who needs, a bubble to survive. And what an incredible way to endear us to his humanity than that little bit of conversation with Magnus about AI and what his soul is, and to just ping and touch on the idea of that existentialism, to just graze it and open up the door later to have that conversation. I'm assuming with maybe a Mazo or Brainiac or any of those other characters, what it is to have this idea and what it is to be alive and what that means. And they just touched on it a little bit. And then the humanity of the character then gets to tie into the humanity of the team that he now sees as his friends. He always wanted to kill Nazis with her, and now he got to. And that moment between the two of them enhances our affection for her. It shows the team getting assembled, but then it's used in a horrific way, because at the end of the episode, after all of this violence, even when the violence felt fun and joyous and even, brutal and intense with slow-mo bullets to the face, the violence against Circe still felt that little bit to where you're uncomfortable, and that's perfect. You want some violence to be like, oh, I don't like watching that. And even though she's the villain, her getting eviscerated by Weasel while being seared in the face by phosphorus, there's a pain there. There's a trauma that makes the violence, even though we've been at 11, somehow a bridge too far to where we see, oh, these are monsters. And the realization of Frank Grillo that he's leading monsters. The idea that there is a ticking clock of what these people are. We're 3 episodes out of the 7, and he's realizing, like, yeah, they have their fun, they're a team, the dynamic's been formed, we care about them, but they're literal monsters. And we haven't even gotten to the Frankenstein stuff yet. I love that this episode also came in between our cliffhanger in episode 2 with the Bride and Frankenstein. We get this great episode that's focused on G.I. Robot, who again, making him the one that dies, making him the first death, gives us that stakes. And then we've got the A-plot of them saving this princess and then protecting this town. That gets to evolve more. We see the Sons of Themyscira get taken out. We get the cliffhanger ending of Circe being, about to take on the world, but we still have that looming plot of Frankenstein, and I cannot wait to see him. I loved this new take on Eric Frankenstein. I love the poetry of it. I love this whiny, emo, aggressive, terrifying stalker, and the way Harbour portrays him. Definitely got to give him his flowers again for his voice work that last episode. You never know if an actor that's an on-camera actor is going to be able to do voice acting, and James Gunn has decided that each of these characters he cast is going to be in live action and in video games and animation. So it's really cool that when you cast these roles, we're going to see them again in live action form potentially. That's why I'm excited about Sergeant Rock. We're going to potentially see them in video games. And One Giant Cannon really excites me, especially with how much I love them 3 episodes in. We also had Michael Rooker here, a James Gunn, staple of his work, as ever being the dad energy, the paternal energy, but then he turns out to be a Nazi, gets taken out. Really dug Flula Borg popping up. A lot of the tried and true James Gunn team in really fun and surprising ways. And Alan Tudyk doing like multiple voices here. Phosphorus, Magnus, the Surfer Bro. Everyone's really doing some heavy lifting, and it's been really impressive. Really digging the show, if you can't tell, and I'm very excited for episode 4 next week. Very excited that the DCU has started in such a weird, bold swing. And this show, like with the dinosaur guy, I forget his name, the dinosaur villain that pops up in the prison sequence, you can go so crazy. You can go so absurd with the DCU by having this be the first show, introduce these characters I never thought we'd see in any sort of cinematic universe, and then follow that up with a more traditional Superman, and then go back to crazy, and then follow it up. And I don't know, I'm really excited for the shape of this universe. I'm really excited for how much I'm digging this show. I'm really digging how aggressively R-rated animated it's going. It feels like the 70s animation stuff. So overall, my cup of tea, really digging it. Let me know in the comments below what you thought. Please leave a like on this video. Please hit that subscription bell so you can see when episode 4 drops. And I've got lots and lots of other stuff. This is a crazy month on this page, and lots of year-end wrap-up stuff. If I haven't heard it already, I'm not sure what order I'm going to be posting this versus my favorites of the year, because I haven't seen all the movies I wanted to. So lots of stuff to post, lots of stuff to get to. Hit that subscription bell. I appreciate each and every one of you. And remember to read some comics. The David Despommier Creature Commandos run is really great. It's on shelves now. All right, much love, guys. Bye.